English, a first language, but would implementing the Jamaican language in schools, and I know we're talking about patois, right, be beneficial for our students? We've got coordinator at the Jamaican Language Unit at the UWI, Mona, Dr. Joseph T. Farquharson here for that discussion. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. So English is our first language for true?
No.
Oh, I was just going to say,
English is the first language for very few people in Jamaica. And what linguists mean by first language is the language that children are first introduced to, after they're born. So the language they hear in their environment. And for most Jamaicans, that is the Jamaican language, not English.
Patois.
Patois, yeah.
Creole.
Creole.
So, Doc, I feel like we've been talking about this ever since I was born, 25 years old.
Before you were born.
Why are we still talking about it?
I don't know, because even from the first conference that was held on Creole languages at Mona in 1958. 1958, language in education was an important part of that conference. And, coming out of that, there are people like the late Dennis Craig, educator who worked on language issues. And, he was saying this for decades. But there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Is it a train?
It's not a train. It means that we are moving in the right direction. And, I'll talk about that a little more.
What are the gains? Tell us what is that light?
So UNESCO, for a very long time, has encouraged countries to use mother language education. So children are introduced first to literacy in their mother language. And I just wanted to read for viewers what UNESCO says. It says research shows that education in the mother tongue is a key factor for inclusion and quality learning, and it also improves learning outcomes and academic performance.
Proven.
Not just proven outside of Jamaica, inside Jamaica, because from 2004 to 2008, the Jamaican Language Unit ran the bilingual education project in several schools. And the outcomes from that project was good. The children were more engaged in learning. Their academic performance was good, and they were doing that in both languages.
So then that leads me to ask you, what we're waiting on. Formalize this. What is the bugbear, Doc? Is it still that cultural stigma of the language being less than? What's stopping us? If we have the proof to say, there's something here, why aren't we implementing?
It is a stigma because of the association, the old-time association about, what, Jamaican is, what it means, where it comes from, and so on. And so I think it's that stigma that is still affecting us today. But I'm happy to say that the government is moving in the right direction. So the National Standards Curriculum, which was released in 2018, does advocate using both languages in teaching. And so they say students must be able to speak in both English and Jamaican. Mm-hmm. They should be able to write in both English and Jamaican. So we're moving in the right direction. The question now is about what are the resources that government has put in place to ensure that this is done properly.
Because you can advocate for it in a report, but as we know in Jamaica, oftentimes the reports sit until the paper get brown and nothing happens. So outside of the advocacy, we're at a point now where we have Patois Bible. When we will see our textbooks being written in Patois, is that a pipe dream?
No, it's not a pipe dream. And the Jamaican Language Unit did that for the bilingual education project, as I said, 2004. And what you do is it's not as complicated as people make it out to be.
But it would seem so, because it's taking forever.
Because you're definitely not trying to do everything at once. And so what you do, you walk with the children through the system. And so you start at the first grade and you move on. So while they're in, first grade, you are working on the second grade material and you move on. So you're not trying to tackle everything all at once. And this is exactly how we did the
I'm curious
EP.
as to the approach, because when I was in university, doing UC 120,
I see you had an exciting time.
It was great. We were looking at, at patois and Creole, and we learned the different ways to spell, and to present Cassidy and others. Is that a part of the complication? Is which what do you call them? Style would you teach?
Okay, so
as a standard.
We have a writing system that has been around since the 1950s, developed by linguist Frederick Cassidy.
Yes.
It's a phonemic system. It's a very easy system. I know a lot of people complain, I can't read, it's hard to read. And so. This is because, of course, they have grown accustomed to the English way.
We're just not familiar with it.
Yeah? But what we're trying to do is not to cater to the people who can already read in English. Because you don't want a system where you have to master English spelling in order to be able to read it. It's a phonemic system. And why we advocate using that system is because you don't want to take over all of the inconsistencies of English.
And the anomalies. Oh gosh, because English is so hard to learn.
So if you think about the sound E in English, E, the vowel sound E, in receive, it's spelled E-I.
Yes.
In feet, it's E-E.
Yes.
In me, it's just one E.
Yes.
In read is E-A.
Sure.
So why would you want to start with an inconsistent system?
Phonetics is just an I with two dots beside it. Length and sound, full stop.
And you know what that do? No spelling test in school.
Correct. Oh.
Because from you hear the word, you know how to spell it. You can't do that with English.
That's true.
Yeah?
That's true. Oh, you make some good points, Doc. I'm just eager for the discussion to move to action.
To action, yeah. And that's where we are now. The Jamaican language unit is ready. We have the benefit of experience. We have the benefit of history. We have the benefit of science on our side. And so it's really us waiting for the footing where we can now bring that experience to bear on putting this thing into practice and ensuring that it's done properly.
Mm-hmm. Great. Thank you for sharing the work that's going on in this area. Appreciate it. Dr. Joseph Farquharson, Joseph T. Farquharson. What's the T for, Doc?
Tittle.
Tittle.
Yes, Tittle.
Tittle. Dr. Joseph Tittle Farquharson. A British name, coordinator of the Jamaica language unit at the UWI Mona. We'll take a break on Smile. Thanks again, Doc. Stay with us. We go on intermission. Second edition of News in 5 is next.